You are now listening to theGrio's Black Podcast Network, Black Culture Amplified.
Wish I could be part of that world.
Welcome back to theGrio Daily as we continue this conversation about woke mermaids and that whole controversy. Now, on the last episode, we talked about the fact that despite the evidence that shows that movies and TV shows with diverse casts actually make more money and get higher ratings, Hollywood and the media industry continues to pump out this all-white content. I'm Michael Harriot, world-famous white peopleologist, and this is theGrio Daily. So what does this have to do with The Little Mermaid? Or let's even expand it, right? People are mad about the Amazon Prime series, Rings of Power. I thought that was a Beyonce song, the follow-up to, if you like it, then you ought to put a ring on it. But apparently it's not. It's apparently people are mad because there's black hobbits. And, I watch the sequel to Game of Thrones, House of Dragons, or, as it's colloquially called, Hot D. And people are mad because a character in that show is black, because they say it's not faithful to the book. Even though, in the book, the dude's name is Corlys. In the book, they don't describe him as being white or black, right? They just say he has blonde hair, but for some reason, in this whole fantastical universe where there's dragons and dire wolves and witches, they can't imagine a black dude with blonde hair. But again, it's because white people are used to consuming media for the history of American media that is mostly white. They're not really used to seeing black people on TV and in movies. So what happened? Well, along came some new players. Now, when I say along came some new players, it might sound like some good upstart, players came to upset the apple cart. But no, what I'm saying is there are some new players with money that it is just as much money as the big six, with just as much power, with just as many resources. Netflix, one of the most lucrative stocks in the country, right? It's a huge corporation. Apple TV, for instance, right? Apple is literally the most profitable company in the world. And so when they got into the TV game, it's not like they were an upstart. And Amazon, right? The richest man in the world owns Amazon. So when he got into the TV game, or what we call the streaming game, it's not like he was playing second fiddle to ABC or Disney or Comcast. But here's what happened. Those companies, they've seen those studies that we just mentioned too. They know that they're more likely to have a hit show if the cast is diverse. They know that white audiences might be the majority of the country, but they are fickle, right? And they know that if you just want to get a good sturdy foothold in the media landscape, all you got to do is just put something that's good in black on TV, right? We would have never heard of Top Boy, a British show where they, hello, governor, I'm going to sell you some drugs right now. I have a terrible British accent, but we'd never heard about that if it wasn't for Netflix. If Netflix wasn't just, casting its lot with a black show from overseas, right? We would have never seen that. But because it was available, black people said, I want to see someone on TV that looks like me. And it became a hit show, right? Look at Insecure. And y'all didn't have HBO until Insecure started streaming. And that's why people have HBO Max, and that's why, Southside, the show Southside had a whole season where it was on just regular cable TV, but when it was on a streaming platform where people could watch it at any time they wanted, it became like a cult hit. And even the big shows, right? Take Black-ish, for instance, right? Black-ish was a top 10 hit. But even though black people make up 13% of the population, we made up 20% of Blackish viewers. A show like Scandal, we were like 40% of Scandal's viewers. Insecure, most of Insecure's viewers are Black. Atlanta, the show on FX, most 60% of Atlanta's viewers are Black, right? Those are hit shows. They're winning prizes and awards, but they exist because, these people in the new media landscape knew that Black audiences and diverse audiences were reliable. And the old guard, those big six, were sitting back watching Netflix and Apple TV take their territory. So what do? Man, we got to figure out something. I mean, all of our stuff been white. Like we like in the 1990s, Disney made a whole movie called Tarzan about a white dude in Africa. And the whole movie was about animals and people and a white dude in Africa swinging through the African jungle. Literally no one in the cast was Black. And the same people who were in control then still control Disney. And they decided, man, like we used to run things. How are we going to get control back? Well, I mean, we ain't really got no new ideas. All our old ideas are white. I mean, people know them, so that's a plus on our side. Wait, what if we just like take all those old white ideas that people loved for 50, 75 years and just put Black faces on them? And it's not because they wanted to be more diverse or more inclusive. It's because they were losing territory and audience and interest to companies like Netflix and Apple TV and Amazon, who, again, they didn't care about Black people either, but they knew the data, they knew the facts, and they knew that they could get a toehold in media by just making shows that look like the multicultural society that we live in. So here comes 100-year-old Disney. And what do? They just slap a Black face on Harriot, which drives white people insane. But here's the thing, you gotta understand why they're mad. Imagine if you lived in a world that catered to you. Imagine, in fact, if all of your tastes and your preferences and all of the stuff you like to see on TV was protected by 6 big old giant dudes who bigger and stronger than everybody else. And nothing else could exist without those 6 guys letting it through. And those 6 guys knew that everything, even the most fantastical thing that you can imagine, had to be something that made you comfortable. The people had to look like you. They had to talk like you. They had to hold the values that you hold dear, right? Everything that you believe, they had to believe. If you thought something was good, then it was good. The evil characters were evil because of your definition of evil. And then all of a sudden, you see a Black mermaid. It might not make you mad, but it might be disorienting. Like for white people, this is like seeing seeing a human being with like a foot coming out of their shoulder and arms coming out of their waist, right? Like it might be a little bit scary. It might, be a little bit upsetting. And the only way to express it is through emotion. Like, what the hell is going on? Well, what's going on is not that Disney is woke, as they contend. It's not, CRT, Caucasian race theory. It's not that, Black mermaids are going to swim in their house. And the crazy thing is, nobody, like Disney ain't going to erase all the VHS copies of the original Little Mermaid. It's not like they're gonna come in your house and make you watch the Africanized mermaid or the Black dude that's riding dragons, or they're gonna hold your face to the TV and say, look at this Negro hobbit, look at it. Nah, you just can choose to watch it or not, like Black people have been doing for years, without complaining, without whining, without saying, we're gonna boycott this white Jesus or this, like they had pharaohs that were white. Disney did. Black people watched it. But when the tables are turned, white people are like, yeah, how did that get here? It must be wokeness. It must be CRT. It must be that gosh darn diversity. White people do be saying the gosh darn though. But that's not what it is at all. Like, there was this television executive years ago who someone was asking him about, the changes at Monday Night Football. This is when Monday Night Football was on ABC. Y'all probably too young to remember that. Cable really didn't exist, and there were only 3 channels. But he could have explained to them the demographics, or how the landscape was changing, or that they have these new cameras where they can swing, or that people want to see and hear more voices that sound like them. But instead, he told them, and this is what his name was Don Ohlmeyer. Don Ohlmeyer explained it in just one simple sentence. The answer to all of your questions is money. And that's how we got a woke Negro mermaid. Thank you for listening to theGrio Daily. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to download the theGrio app. Don't forget to tell your friends about us. We're going to be here every day. Like now, you can watch us on the theGrio streaming service that is available everywhere. Like We in the Game now. And I know Disney going to be mad. They're probably going to have, like the White People Daily on Disney now. But regardless, remember, if them folks can't swim, they bound to drizzle. We'll see you next time on theGrio Daily. If you liked what you heard, please give us a 5-star review, download the theGrio app, subscribe to the show, and share it with everyone you know. Please email all questions, suggestions, and compliments to podcasts@thegrio.com.
You are now listening to theGrio's Black Podcast Network, Black Culture Amplified.
You're watching the Blackest Questions podcast with Christina Greer. In this podcast, we ask our guests 5 of the blackest questions so we can learn a little bit more about them and have some fun while we're doing it.
Okay, so this is a trick question.
We're also going to learn a lot about Black history, past and present.
Beautiful. I learned a wonderful fact today. Great.
So here's how it works. We have 5 rounds of questions about us, Black history, the whole diaspora, current events, you name it. With each round, the questions get a little tougher.
Oh, you got me. Let me see.
I have no idea.
I knew you were going to go there, Dr. Greer.
Subscribe to the show wherever you listen to your podcast and share it with everyone you know.